Everyone thinks Japan and Korea are cultural twins when it comes to workplace drama and social pressure. But here's the mind-blowing truth that'll flip your entire understanding. These two cultures are burning themselves out in completely opposite ways, and the real tea is way juicier than you think. One culture is having a silent meltdown, while the other is putting on the most dramatic performance in human history. Let's start with what everyone gets wrong. When people talk about Asian work culture being intense, they're missing the actual plot. Japan and Korea aren't just different flavors of the same pressure cooker. They're like watching two completely different reality TV shows about human endurance. Japan's version is like a slow-motion documentary where nothing happens but everything's falling apart. Korea's version? It's like reality TV cranked up to 11 where everyone's screaming, crying, and somehow still looking flawless. The workplace vibes alone tell the entire story. Walk into a Japanese office and you'll witness what I call the great silence. Everyone's working furiously, but it's like someone hit the mute button on human emotion. People stay late not because they have work, but because leaving first is basically social treason. The boss doesn't even have to say anything, just existing in the office past 6 p.m. creates this invisible force field of guilt that keeps everyone glued to their desks. It's performance art disguised as productivity. Now step into a Korean office and buckle up for sensory overload. The hierarchy isn't just acknowledged, it's performed daily like a Broadway musical. Junior employees bow at precise angles, seniors dish out criticism like they're Gordon Ramsay, and everyone participates in this elaborate dance of respect that would make Versailles courtiers jealous. But here's the twist. Koreans actually talk about how much this stresses them out, while Japanese people just internalize everything until they become human pressure cookers. The generational warfare is where things get absolutely wild. Japan's young people have basically mastered the art of disappearing while still being physically present. They've created this whole lifestyle around opting out, not dating, not having kids, not even leaving their rooms sometimes. It's like they looked at their parents' life script and said, "Thanks, but we'll just live in anime instead." The older generation keeps wondering where all the young people went, while the young people are right there, just existing in parallel universe. Korean millennials took the complete opposite approach. They're not disappearing, they're rewriting the entire cultural operating system while their parents watch in absolute horror. They're like, "Oh, you want us to respect hierarchy? Cool, we'll respect it by completely destroying it through sheer competence and strategic sass." Korean young people aren't opting out of the system. They're hacking it from the inside while live streaming the whole process. Let's talk about the entertainment industrial complex because this is where the cultural DNA really shows. Japan exports peace through escapism. Their entire cultural export strategy is basically life is stressful. So here's a magical world where problems get solved through friendship, and everyone's weirdly obsessed with food. Anime, manga, Nintendo. It's all designed to help you forget that reality exists. Japanese entertainment is like a warm hug that whispers, "Don't worry about your actual life." Korea looked at that approach and said, "Hold my soju." Korean entertainment exports the stress itself, but makes it so aesthetically pleasing that people worldwide are begging for more. K-pop isn't just music, it's perfectionism turned into a global addiction. Those idols aren't just performing. They're demonstrating what happens when you turn human beings into high-performance art pieces. K-dramas aren't just romance. They're emotional boot camp that trains viewers to find beauty in absolutely devastating interpersonal drama. The beauty standards reveal everything about how these cultures process internal pressure. Japanese beauty culture is about achieving perfection through invisible effort. The goal is to look naturally flawless while hiding all the work that goes into it. It's like performance art where the performance is pretending there's no performance. Japanese women have mastered the art of looking effortlessly perfect, which actually requires enormous effort, but acknowledging that effort would ruin the entire illusion. Korean beauty culture is the complete opposite. It's perfectionism as public spectacle. They've turned skincare routines into content, plastic surgery into lifestyle choices, and looking good into a full-time job that everyone documents obsessively. Korean beauty culture isn't about hiding the effort. It's about showcasing exactly how much work goes into looking amazing. It's perfectionism without shame, which is somehow both more honest and more intense. The dating scenes are like watching two different species attempt romance. Japanese dating culture has become this elaborate avoidance dance where people are so worried about disrupting social harmony that they've basically stopped dating altogether. Dating apps exist, but they're used like museum pieces. Everyone looks, nobody touches. The social pressure to be perfect has created a generation that's too paralyzed by the possibility of imperfection to actually connect with other humans. Korean dating culture is dating as competitive sport. They've gamified romance to the point where first dates require resume exchanges. People literally submit applications to date each other, complete with salary verification and family background checks. But here's the plot twist. They're actually having these relationships, even if they're treating them like job interviews. Korean internal pressure creates hyperachievement in romance. Japanese internal pressure creates romantic paralysis. The food culture metaphors are absolutely perfect. Japanese cuisine is about hidden complexity, simple presentation masking incredibly sophisticated technique. A piece of sushi looks effortless but represents years of training and obsessive attention to detail. Japanese food culture mirrors their social strategy: make the difficult look easy. Never let anyone see you sweat. Achieve perfection through invisible suffering. Korean food culture is about visible intensity. Korean BBQ isn't just dinner. It's a social ritual that requires active participation from everyone at the table. Korean hot pot isn't just food. It's controlled chaos that brings people together through shared endurance of spice levels that would hospitalize tourists. Korean cuisine celebrates the struggle. The spicier, the more complex, the more interactive, the better. The work-life balance philosophies couldn't be more different. Japan has this concept where work and life aren't supposed to be balanced. They're supposed to be integrated so seamlessly that you can't tell where one ends and the other begins. Japanese work culture has convinced people that having boundaries is selfish, so everyone just accepts that work expands to fill all available life space. It's genius and horrible simultaneously. Korea has created this culture where work-life balance is openly discussed as an impossible goal that everyone's still trying to achieve anyway. They acknowledge that the system is unsustainable, but instead of quietly accepting it like Japan, they're loudly complaining about it while simultaneously participating in it at maximum intensity. Korean work culture is like competitive exhaustion. Everyone's tired. Everyone knows everyone's tired, and somehow this makes everyone work even harder. Here's the controversial part that's going to make people mad. Korea's approach to internal pressure is actually more sustainable long-term. Yes, it looks more chaotic and dramatic, but Korean culture has built-in pressure release valves. They scream at karaoke. They have public emotional breakdowns. They acknowledge when systems are broken and actively try to fix them. Korean internal pressure burns hot, but it also burns clean. Japanese internal pressure is like a slow leak in a pressure system. By the time you notice the problem, the entire infrastructure is compromised. Japanese culture has created such sophisticated mechanisms for hiding distress that people don't even realize they're in crisis until they're in complete shutdown mode. The politeness, the harmony, the conflict avoidance, it's all beautiful until you realize it's preventing people from getting help when they need it. The global influence patterns prove this point. Japanese cultural exports teach the world that suffering should be beautiful and private. Korean cultural exports teach the world that suffering should be dramatic and shared. Both approaches are spreading globally, but Korean-style openness about internal pressure is actually helping people process their own cultural stress, while Japanese-style internalization is teaching people to suffer more elegantly. The technology adoption tells the whole story. Japan creates technology that helps people avoid difficult human interactions, automated everything, robots for companionship, elaborate systems for minimizing social friction. Korea creates technology that amplifies human connection, social gaming that's more social than game, live streaming culture, hyper-connected social media that makes privacy basically impossible. So who's winning the internal pressure Olympics? Plot twist, they're both creating different types of cultural evolution. Japan is evolving toward perfect efficiency at the cost of human spontaneity. Korea is evolving toward maximum human expression at the cost of individual peace. Japan is becoming a perfectly calibrated machine where all the humans are quietly malfunctioning. Korea is becoming a beautifully chaotic orchestra where everyone's playing fortissimo all the time. The real revelation is that both cultures are teaching the rest of the world different ways to be magnificently stressed. Japanese stress culture is spreading the idea that personal struggle should be invisible and beautiful. Korean stress culture is spreading the idea that personal struggle should be visible and aesthetic. We're all choosing which type of beautiful exhaustion we want to perform for the world. If you enjoyed this cultural deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe for more mind-bending cultural insights, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Which culture should I decode next? See you in the next one.